In the kingdom of Arendelle, something strange had begun. Days moved like syrup. Hours stretched and refused to pass. Birds that once filled the sky with flutter and song sat frozen on branches, as if afraid to beat their wings. Carriages rolled, but could not stop without help. Lantern flames bent in the wind, but never danced. Queen Anna called it the Great Pause. Elsa felt it deep inside her magic. But no one could explain why time itself was stiff and heavy, like wet winter cloth. Then one evening, when the moon hung stiff in the sky, a carriage arrived from a far land. The horses moved, but each step looked painful, like walking through invisible mud. Inside sat a princess with tired eyes and trembling hands. She was known in every storybook as the princess who could feel a tiny pea under 20 mattresses. But this discomfort was far worse than a pea. She stepped out and whispered to Anna, "The world has been stretched too tight. It hurts to lie down. It hurts to breathe. It is all wrong. I must speak with the fifth spirit." Elsa met her, in the palace hall where even candles melted in slow drops. The princess bowed gently but winced. "Everything is too still. Not peaceful still. Wrong still. Your magic feels trapped. The sea feels choked. Even shadows want to move but cannot. I can feel it everywhere." Elsa nodded. "I feel it too. My ice freezes before I even ask. My wind stops before it flows. Something beneath the world is holding everything in place." The princess closed her eyes and listened, not with ears, but with her gift. "I hear a hum," she said softly. "It is under mountains and roots and forgotten stories. A stone that once made silence when silence was needed. But now silence has grown too large. It must be found." Elsa and the princess set out at dawn, or what should have been dawn. The sun rose, but it felt as if it had been pushed upward with effort. Even the lights seemed tired. They rode toward the mountains where snow did not drift, but sat in heavy heaps like it had given up on falling. Wolves stood at the forest edge, watching them. They were not afraid, but unsure if they should step forward or stay still. At the base of the mountain, the princess pressed her hand to the ground. "It is deep," she whispered. "Buried under time. Buried under choices. Buried under people who wanted quiet so badly that they forgot the world needs to move." Elsa bent her knees and touched the frozen earth. She did not freeze or break the ground. Instead, she breathed and let her magic sing like a soft lullaby. The ice opened a little, just a little. The princess flinched. "Not there. It hurts when you press too far left." Elsa moved her hand a hair's width right. "Better." The princess sighed with relief. "The world is very loud down there. Old voices wanting everything to stay still forever." Layer by layer, Elsa worked her magic, grew gentle like feathers brushing sand. Snow lifted in quiet curls. Rocks moved aside without scraping. The princess guided every motion with a whisper, a breath, a blink. Then at last, a pale blue light shone under the soil. Elsa froze in awe. The princess covered her ears. There it is, the stone of stillness. It is louder than silence. It is silence that wants to swallow song and breath and heartbeat. The stone was small, like a fruit pit, yet heavier than a mountain. It pulsed once like a bell that made no sound. Its power kept everything from moving, resting, stopping, breathing, changing. Its stillness had spilled into the world without permission. Elsa reached out, but the princess shook her head. "Do not command. Stones obey command too well. Ask it to move. Let it choose." Elsa closed her eyes. She felt the wind trapped in the stone. The tides caught. The seconds frozen in their steps. She touched the stone not with force, but with kindness. The way snow catches sunlight. The way a river invites leaves to float. Her magic warmed just enough. The ice around the stone melted like winter, giving up its crown. The stone cracked. Soft glow spilled out, then grew brighter and brighter until everything around them trembled. The world sighed. The wind finally rushed. The trees swayed and shook old snow from their arms. Birds flapped their wings and sang as if they had waited years. Waves crashed with life. Clocks ticked. Children laughed in the village below, because play felt like play again. The princess fell to her knees with joy. My body is quiet again, she whispered. The wrongness is gone. Elsa held the stone, which now seemed lighter than a feather. It was no longer a prison for time, but a simple rock ready to rest. She placed it gently in a soft bed of snow where it would sleep without holding the world hostage. That night in the palace, 20 mattresses were stacked for the princess. Silks, velvets, cushions, feathers, all layered in the biggest bed Arendelle had ever seen. But she did not need them. She lay her head on one pillow and drifted into sleep before Elsa finished saying goodnight. Elsa stood at her window watching the stars blink again, instead of staring without sparkle. She listened to trees. Rustled to waves, breathed to the clocks, tick, 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 like a friendly drum. She whispered into the night, "You saved us." Not with noise or might, but with noticing. And from that day forward, whenever Elsa felt magic too quiet or too heavy, she called for her friend. For the princess who could feel a pea, and a universe for a girl who could hear when the world stopped whispering. Because sometimes the greatest heroes are not the loudest or the brightest. Sometimes they are the ones who simply feel what everyone else forgets to feel.